Last time we talked, I think you mentioned that you wanted to be more versatile in the defense this year. Is that still your goal for this season? And what are you kind of doing during the offseason and these OTAs to achieve that?
I wouldn't say it's a goal. You know what I'm saying? I think it's last year coming in at the time I didn't know the playbook as well as I do now, and the coaches just wanted to keep it simple for me, and they did, and I appreciate that. And but now I would say it's if the coaches want me to move around, I move around. If they don't, then I don't need to. But I wouldn't say it's a goal. But if they need me to move around, I'm trying to learn the system and get it down to a T. So just in case if I have to, or if they ask me to move, I can move.
Mike Prizzuta, DVE.
Hey, Minkah, I was curious, how did you interpret the results from the Ravens game? You guys gave up a lot of rushing yards in that season finale. How do you interpret that versus what you did as a defense for the majority of the year?
It's one of those outliers. It happens throughout the season. You have a game or two where you don't play the way we're supposed to. It was a different type of circumstance. We knew we weren't going to be moving forward into the playoffs and everything else, which isn't an excuse or whatever. But I think guys were kind of discouraged about that, and it was just tough conditions out there, and the Ravens are a real good team, and we played them once before, so they knew what they were doing, and they threw some things at us that we didn't see earlier on in the season. But I think it was, like I said, it was just one of those outliers. It's not something that we usually do. It's not something that we're ever going to get used to doing. But always got to fix it, patch it up, and then keep pushing.
Mark Cabali, The Athletic.
Hey, Minkah. Joe and Bud and TJ and all the guys, Devin, what do you think about your talent level at the defensive position, and how does that rank up with other people in the league? Could you just speak about the talent of the defensive players coming back?
I think we're one of the best. I think that was reflected last year in the way that we played in our state towards the end of the season as a defense. We're top 3, top 5 in almost every single category. So I think our talent level and our execution level, because a lot of guys got talent, it's the NFL. But I think our execution level alongside our talent level is what kind of sets us apart and is what is going to continue to set us apart.
Jerry Dulac, Post-Gazette.
Minkah, how do you feel? You have 3 Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks, the last 3 Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks in the division. You have the reigning MVP. How much of a challenge is that to you, either personally or as a defense? You're to have such a young talent going against you guys.
It's there's a lot of talent in our division. It's competitive. We're probably one of the toughest divisions in the league. But it's something that we look forward to as professional athletes, as competitors. I think it's definitely going to raise our game. It's going to raise our opponent's game, and it's definitely it's fun playing against those guys. Playing against guys like Lamar and Baker, and soon to be Joe Burrow. But we got to step up to the plate, make sure on an A++ game, and continue to execute and play the way that we play.
Jeff Hawthorne, 93.7 The Fan.
Hey, Minkah, you haven't played with Ben Roethlisberger yet. What impact do you expect him to make for the team this year, and what do you think he means to the team?
I expect him to be Ben Roethlisberger. He's a great player, big playmaker. But also, I seen throughout last year just him being around the team and not even on the field that he's a great leader and a great man. A dude that I like being around. I like hearing from him, and he has a lot of experience and wisdom to share. So I think he's going to keep being himself. Even though he was injured or whatever it may be, he's going to go out there. He's going to compete. He's going to challenge myself, as a defensive player. And he's going to go out there and just make everybody else around him better, like he's been doing for the past however many seasons.
Dale Lawley, DK Pittsburgh Sports.
Hey, Minkah, was there a point last season where you saw teams kind of adjust to staying away from you and not allowing you to make as many splash plays as you did early in the season? Did you see teams kind of changing what they did offensively to kind of take that away from you guys?
Yeah, I think teams started just taking less shots downfield, taking less shots at wherever I was. So if I was in the middle of the field, they weren't going to be throwing it towards the middle of the field. If I was in a half, they weren't going to be targeting that area or wherever I was. So I don't know if it was game plan or just decision making by the QB, but I did realize a difference.
Brian Batko, Post-Gazette.
Hey, Minkah. You're a guy who you're coming off a breakout year for yourself in the NFL and really kind of came into your own at this level last season. Is there any concern for you about not having a traditional offseason to sort of build on that? And what have you been doing these last couple months and how have you been working through the challenges of not being able to be there in person and do the things you'd normally do this time of year?
I feel like the only real concern for the team is this chemistry. This time right now is a time where you're spending a lot of time with your teammates, not just in the locker room, but outside the locker room, because, we're all together. We're only working 4 days a week. So, guys are spending a lot of time together outside, just hanging out, doing whatever during this time. And, you're learning about each other, learning how each other think and just life outside of football. And, during the season, it's kind of tough to do that because you see each other for, 12 hours out of the day. You don't want to go home and see them again. But, the only real concern for me is just that chemistry part of it, which, is big, but, we could find ways to make it happen. And personally, just right now, I'm just, I'm a very self-motivated type guy. So for me, it's not too big of a deal. I'm training just as hard as I would be, if not harder, if I was in a facility and doing everything I can to stay in shape. And, when I get back, make sure that, we hit the ground running, that I'm going to be able to be running and in good shape. So, that's the only current concern for me is just that chemistry and, that team bonding time.
Jim Wexel, 24/7 Sports. Jim Wexel, 24/7 Sports.
There we go. You hear me now?
Yeah, we can
now.
Yep.
Okay. Minkah, first of all, I think you should know that Pete Prisco ripped Polamalu all the way to Canton. Second of all, I'm curious as to what a year will do, not just for you, but for the defense with you.
Yeah, I think it's gonna help the defense in a big way. I think we had a lot of young guys on our defense last year that didn't fully grasp the concepts and everything like that, and weren't able to think on their toes 110% of the time. And teams start picking up on that. They start making people move around, make us think and communicate during the snap. And that's been a real big emphasis for ours this offseason is, working on that second level of communication. After guys move, after, the offense might adjust. So I think, that's what we've been focusing on. And it's definitely going to help us out a whole lot once we all are on the same page and all understand the concepts and the schemes of the defense and even what the offense is doing. So I think it'll even put us even further ahead than most teams.
Albie Oxenrider, WPXI.
Thanks, Angela. Hi, Minkah.
How you doing?
Good, fine. Thanks for your time. Quick question. You talked a second ago about training camp. Nobody knows for sure how this is going to play out, but what are your expectations for how camp will look and what you think you're going to have in terms of a preseason, just in your opinion? I know that nobody knows, but everybody has an opinion.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm preparing as if we're going to be going back and, going to go right into the full swing of things, as if we're going to go back into a regular camp schedule and a regular preseason schedule. Because honestly, that's the toughest thing that will be, you know what I'm saying, is if we do that. So I'm going to prepare for that. And, if we have anything else, if they cut the preseason in half or push it back a couple weeks, I'll be prepared. If not prepared as if we were having a normal regular season. But yeah, in my opinion, I have no clue. You know what I'm saying? They're updating us day to day with what they have, and what they have is very little. So we're just taking it day to day and preparing for as if it's going to be a normal preseason and normal camp schedule.
Jenna Harner, WPXI.
Hey there, Minkah. What conversations have the team been having with the rookies in terms of trying to get them up to speed? Have there been conversations? Have, some of the older guys on the team been working with, the younger guys virtually in the best way they can?
Yeah, with the DBs, I mean, that's only really who I can speak for. With the DBs, we've been going through coverages and schemes, and, we started with the older guys. We would go through coverage and, in detail and everything else like that. And then we started going towards the younger guys and the rookies. And that's what we're kind of doing right now. They're breaking down coverages and schemes and stuff like that. And we're communicating with them, you know what I'm saying? Our DB coaches communicating with them what they could do better, or, what I would do if he's talking about me in a specific clip. So that's what we're doing. We're just having them talk, you know what I'm saying? Because we want to know what they know. Because a lot of people, they don't allow the rookies to talk or communicate, so they have no clue what they do and don't know. But we're having them talk a whole lot, making sure that they're communicating, making sure that they're speaking and asking questions. So we're just making them feel comfortable and able to do that, and we're trying to get them up to speed.
Joe Rudder, Trib.
Yeah, Minkah, you had spoken earlier about teams maybe trying to take you out of the game plan in the second half of last year. Is there anything you can do this year to prevent that from happening again? Can you counteract that?
I mean, there's not too much I can do. You know what I'm saying? I could, me and Terrell can maybe move around and switch roles sometimes, but schematically, it's all up to the coaches. You know what I'm saying? If they want to move me, somewhere else, then they'll do that, or have me do something that I don't normally do on a specific play or specific down and distance, and that's up to the coaches.
Tim Benz, Trib.
Minkah, to follow up on that, what else would you like to do? Is slot corner something that you might like, or would you like to move up in the box more? And does any of that become more complicated because of the herky-jerky offseason you guys are dealing with?
It doesn't really matter to me. I moved around a lot in the past. I just like going out there and making plays and being where I need to be. You know what I'm saying? And last year, where I needed to be was in the middle of the field and in the half. And, it worked out fine. And, this season, we're going to, keep doing what we need to do to win games. And if that's corner or linebacker, whatever it may be, that's what I'm going to do.
There's 3 more questions, guys. First is Will Graves, Associated Press.
Hey, Minkah, I'm just sort of curious, because of the unknowns entering the offseason, I mean, and because you guys have so many guys back, do you feel you guys might be in a better position to sort of get up to speed more quickly than guys that have a lot of new faces? Is that something that, in a weird way, a shortened offseason might actually be beneficial?
Yeah, I think, we do have a lot of guys returning, but we also have some young faces and new faces. But, there's other teams that are almost like half their roster or half their secondary or half their linebacker core is gone. And we were lucky enough to, not have that. So I think it'll definitely give us an advantage because, we all have a year under our belt, or some guys even more than that. So I think it's definitely an advantage for us.
Noah Strackben, Maven.
Hey, Minkah. So can you just talk a little bit about the guys behind you, Marcus Allen, Jordan Dangerfield? Do you feel comfortable with the depth that you guys have, even Brooks that you brought in this year in the draft?
Yeah, both of them are very talented guys. Both of them are competitors. In practice, they're always going hard, and they're always, doing what they can to, make the team better, whether that's competing against our offense or whether that's just making me better, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that they're both behind me and that they're both pushing and fight for a spot. So they're both talented guys, both guys that can make plays if they're asked to.
Last question is for Brian Cook, Golden Sky.
All right, thanks. Thank you, Angela. Hi, Minkah. As one of the leaders of your team, and with all of the uncertainty with COVID-19, and fans may not be able to see you guys up close and personal during training camp or maybe even the season for that matter. With all of that up in the air right now, what message do you have for the fans, for Steeler Nation, who may be anxious just to get back to watching football?
I'll say one, we appreciate all the love and support that they show us, previously and even in the future. I know that whether there's no fans in the stadium or whether it's going to be full fledged, that we're gonna have unwavering support, that's greatly appreciated and going to be reflected in the way that we play. We give our best for the fans. We're going to give our best for our families and ourselves. So I think no matter what the case is, whether it's nobody in the stands or full stadium, we're going to give our best effort and make sure you guys are entertained and having a good time.